Okay, we're good to go. Thank you for calling and agreeing to do this for us. And yeah, man, I'm gonna come check you out in Portland as well, and I can't wait to hear some excerpts from your book. Um, yeah, really excited about that. And we were actually, I'm actually from San Francisco, so me and a couple of friends of mine are huge fans, and we used to go check out the midnight screening the last Saturday of every month at the Red Vic, and and I came to a couple of the screenings where you attended as well, and we took some pictures together. But of course, I'm not gonna like expect you to remember any of that. But
Did you come when Tommy was there?
it was in 2010.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, it was back then. One time you came to Red Vic just by yourself and did a Q&A before the movie, and then I think a couple months after that, this is both in 2010, I think. You came with Tommy, and you took some pictures with people and did a Q&A, and then they showed the movie, and I was me and my friends were just, like I said, huge fans, so we came to all of those, so we wouldn't miss any of that. And I haven't had a chance to check out the book yet, but I can't wait. I'm really like looking forward to delving more into the stuff that we might not know about, even after all the research and everything that we did on our own to find out how all of this went down. Um, but yeah, I was wondering that almost 10 years after making The Room, what inspired you to write the book?
I started working on the book um, back when the movie first started taking off as a phenomenon. The experience making the movie and the whole journey to it was overwhelming, and I felt like there was a lot of great stories to tell. Some were crazy, some were inspiring. I felt compelled by the material, and I just felt like I had something that was people would really enjoy to read and get something from. So I put it on the page, and it's been like 3 years of working on it.
Okay, so you started working on it like just couple years ago. So it's been like kind of a work in progress. So you did you start writing it? Yeah, like right around the time. I think it's around like 2006 or 2007 when it like really started blowing up. And my friend kind of got me up to speed with it around 2008, and that seemed to be the time when the screenings were, the first couple of screenings we went to it wasn't as sold out, and in a matter of months it just turned from that into like you had to start getting tickets for the Red Vic screenings like almost a week beforehand. Was it like around that time you thought it would be a good idea to write the book?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the story itself was great, um, but I felt like when the movie took off, there was an audience for it, and people always ask questions and wanted to know more. And I couldn't really give them a few answers because the story is so complex. I felt
Mm-hmm.
like if I was going to tell them, I had to tell them. I just felt like there was something. Um, there's a story that was definitely very worth telling. That um, I thought when I started writing it, it wasn't going to be that hard, but it ended up just being such a intense process trying to write, the book that you want to write and bring it to life.
Hmm. And yeah, I remember when you did the Q&A in Red Vic. It was like a half-hour Q&A, and the only thing within that time that you could cover was basically how you and Tommy met in San Francisco, and how I think he asked you to join a like some kind of rehearsal session or something, and he just showed up in a like an expensive car pick you up, and you were like, oh, okay, I need to see where this is going?
Yeah, exactly. I yeah, meeting Tommy was a very very surprising experience. You never know when somebody worth's going to take you, and I felt like meeting him really kind of changed the direction of where I was headed, and it's I think a lot of people see Tommy and they think of somebody who's eccentric and mysterious, and he definitely is, but there's a side to him that very friendly and engaging, and so he helped me continue to pursue my goal of becoming an actor.
Oh yeah. And me and my friends are every time we go to the screenings, our favorite scene with Mark is also your first scene in the movie, the first time you appear, and it's the part where you're talking on the phone, and it's just the thing that strikes us about that scene is just that it's you're so intensely dismissive to her, and it's one of the scenes that we quote a lot, and it's not one of those like one of the classic scenes that people always bring up. But I was just wondering, like, do you remember shooting that scene? Do you remember what your direction was?
What scene again? It was in the car.
Yeah, yeah. While you're in the car, you're talking on the phone, and you just say like, "I'm busy. What do you want?"
Oh yeah, I tried to work that out, and it didn't go too well. I tried to add some lines to it and make my character kind of sound a little bit more human. And Tommy just wanted me to say the script the way it was. And I tried to put on the sunglasses, try to act like I was really driving or I was really outside, but he just wanted me to do the scene the way it was. So it just plays kind of funny because that's the way Tommy speaks. So I kind of had to speak like him, say his words. And every time I watch that scene, I just kind of laugh because it feels so awkward.
Yeah, it's I guess that's kind of the situation there is that just it also feels like like you kind of it just feels like you kind of have this intense hate for her all of a sudden. Like that's the first time you ever see that relationship, and the first time we ever even see your character, and then yeah, I guess the funny juxtaposition is that it doesn't really gel with what happens next, which you have it turns out you have feelings for each other, and then you have sex, and but then in the previous scene it just looks like you just can't even stand talking to her. So so his intention, you're saying kind of like his intention was that his intention wasn't that like you have this intense kind of dismissive. It was just kind of his way of like just basically very simply saying like, oh, you're busy, you're gonna just talk to her later, but there wasn't that kind of subtext there.
No, yeah, no, there wasn't much subtext to it. It was just a kind of a basic basic conversation that really kind of didn't really go anywhere.
Cool. Hold on, just 1 second. Sorry, my wife just popped in, and I wasn't expecting her for a couple hours.
Yeah, no worries.
Sorry about that. So one of the things that like attracted my attention immediately, and especially when my friend was kind of pitching the movie to me to kind of like convince me to go to one of the midnight screenings. One of the first thing he says that there's these scenes on the rooftop that's supposed to take place in San Francisco, and it's so obviously shot in front of a green screen in L.A. and that it and when I saw it, it kind of looks like it kind of makes it look like a dystopian kind of surrealist post-apocalyptic sci-fi film or something like that. And
I would say it looks like Istanbul.
oh, that's interesting. I am from Istanbul. Yeah, I'm Turkish.
No way.
Yeah, yeah.
I always thought that because I spent a little bit of time in Turkey. Yeah, I kind of thought that's what it looked like.
That's interesting. I never. It's weird. I lived the first 23 years of my life in Istanbul. I never made that connection, but now that you actually like bring it up, I can totally see that. That's so weird. I never thought of that for some reason. Maybe it's because I lived in Istanbul and then I moved to San Francisco, so I always have those two connections. But yeah, it does have this kind of look of Istanbul without all the minarets, of course, the mosques and everything. It could almost be. You probably know where Taksim is then.
Yeah, Taksim.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I could see that it kind of looks like Taksim. You know that long street where cars can't get in, and it's just basically a trolley that goes through in the middle of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. It kind of almost looks like that. That's really interesting that you think it looks like Istanbul. But yeah, about that, I just wanted to ask if during the shooting of those scenes, was there any kind of opinions of dissent to say like, maybe this is not going to look so good. Maybe we should, what do you think about shooting it on location? Just going to San Francisco to some random rooftop and have an actual background.
That we do it his way, and he said that was part of the twist.
Oh, that's all you said about that?
Yeah.
That's so. That's interesting. Do you have any idea what that might mean?
I've been trying to figure that out. I think he wanted to do the green screen and thought it was more cutting edge.
Huh. Okay. So yeah, I think it's so maybe it ties into the like the fact that he shot with both 35 millimeter and HD video. So maybe that was his way of just constantly trying to keep up with the technological advancements without. Maybe he wasn't thinking about like how does this even serve the story. It was basically was it basically kind of, did you get the feeling that it was like him trying to be just like technically efficient in that way?
Yeah, he felt like it was he could control the situation more using a green screen. I think he was intrigued by the aspect of green screen. So that's what made him want to do that more.
And the going back to like him wanting to keep the lines exactly the way they were and not allowing a lot of leeway. I guess one of our favorite Mark lines is "Keep your stupid comments in your pocket." And while you were shooting that, was it kind of the same thing where did you tell him like that doesn't really make a lot of sense, or it just sounds a little odd, and was he like or were you at that point like, hey, I'll just just I don't know what point of the shooting process that took place in, but were you like and I'll just say it the way it is, whatever.
I just kind of tried to do what he wanted so we could get it done. He was very particular about the way this movie was going to be shot, and everyone kind of had to follow suit with what he wanted. So a lot of people ask questions as to why or what, and that's just the way he wanted it.
And what were your thoughts after the production was the shoot was done, and how long was it until I mean, what did you think was going to happen with it, and how long was it after the shoot was finished when you saw the first time when you saw the finished film?
We finished it in November. I saw the rough cut of the film pretty quickly, and I just thought it was extremely. It was even funnier than what I expected watching it on camera. So I couldn't believe some of the scenes the way they played out, and my family's reactions to them were really, really funny. And I never would have thought it would have gone over the way that it did, but there's something about the movie, especially when you see it with an audience, that makes it come alive.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. We watch it at home from time to time, but it's definitely a very different experience when you go to the midnight screenings. So when you saw the rough cut, and then when you started seeing it a couple more times after that, before it became this kind of phenomenon, was there any part of you that was kind of thinking, like, did you like where you were like you had this kind of comedic take on it, and like you said, your family was kind of laughing a little bit, and did you think that it was going to get to? Did you actually think that there was some kind of potential there, that it was going to be kind of this thing? Did you think it would actually get this big?
No, I never thought that. I just thought it would kind of find a small cult audience and go away.
But was it, while you were shooting it, were you thinking that, oh, this is gonna be kind of funny to watch, or were you kind of like, oh, let's just get this over with, and it's probably going to be, what was going through your mind during the actual production of it?
I thought that it was going to be amazing if we just finished the thing, let alone have it become a hit. But I think that when we did finish it, there was something very funny about it, and I think Tommy just wasn't. He was going to make sure people saw it. He wasn't going to let it die. No. And I think that alone, people felt that, and they responded to it.
Yeah, and out of the responses, the screenings that you attend, or the city and the theaters that you go to, what out of those, what are some of your favorite? What's like one of your favorite experiences, or what do you have like a favorite city to see it in?
All the cities were great. I really enjoyed going to London. London and Paris, and Liverpool. Everyone was, very friendly. All the cities and fans always are so enthusiastic about the movie. So it's all in all, it's been really a crazy ride and a fun experience. But I was going to tell you, I have a flight that I'm going to be catching.
Okay.
Can we talk if you need any more? If you have any more questions, do you want to talk maybe this weekend, or feel free to call me anytime if you have anything else you wanted to ask.
No, I think I'm pretty much done. I was just wondering. I just had like one more question.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if after writing this book, do you feel like you're kind of done with The Room, or where do you see this going? And apart from The Room, is there, what do you have any projects going on for the future?
Yeah, I think The Room is always kind of going to be that guilty pleasure, which I'm totally cool with. The book is just a way to kind of explain who I am and what my story was and how I got involved. And I'm definitely looking forward to going, in a new direction and doing some projects that I'm passionate about, that I'm interested in. I'm going to be doing a movie later this year with the creators of 5 Second Films. It's going to be a horror movie that's going to have Patton Oswalt in it.
Cool.
So I'm looking forward to going in a new direction, but I'll always be definitely appreciative for the experiences that The Room brought me.
No. Cool. And just little tiny little I guess personal request. Can you send a shout out to Mike and Andy, two of your biggest fans?
Mike and Andy, you guys rock. Hopefully, I'll meet you guys sometime soon.
Thank you so much, and we're done. So have a safe flight, and hopefully I'll see you in Portland during the reading. I'm definitely gonna come check that out.
Yeah, that'll be great. Okay, sounds good.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay, you too.
Bye.
Bye.